Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Rhiannon Harvest. If you are new here, I am a pagan and witch and explorer of the occult and all things mystical. So if you have not yet, definitely subscribe to the channel below and turn on the notification bell. I post several times a week, both my podcast on YouTube and a weekly video of something on the topic of exploring the occult, magic, tips and tricks with witchcraft and spell work, and just living a spiritual life in general. If you hear any scruffling or snorting at all in the video, just know that this is Gizmo. He is my little lap dog today. He is feeling extra needy and wanting attention, so I couldn't say no to him. He crawled up to me, and I'm just gonna give him all the love that he deserves while I do this video. And yeah, he might just make a couple, there's a snorting, he might make a couple appearances here and there. And I'm just gonna sit and listen to the birds outside and just have a friendly chat about the different witchy apps that I love to use in my witchcraft practice as a modern witch. I have a little witchy folder on my phone where I just keep all of my witchcraft apps. The first one is something I don't think many people would consider to be a witchy app, but I do, especially for someone who is on a budget and loves to learn and is looking for books and resources out there. Now, this doesn't have every occult book possible because it's not just geared to occultism. However, it has a great many resources, and it has a lot of Llewellyn books and different books from many popular publications. So this one is called Scribd. And Scribd is basically an app where you can have all on your phone or on an iPad a whole bunch of books digitally. So you can have books, audiobooks, there's podcasts available, magazines, and even like documents. I haven't really explored that part so far, but there's so many really amazing books here. So you have your own little profile and you can save books that you want to look into. You can download them onto your phone and read them on the go without your data on. And you can search, you can see top charting books, and it actually makes you a little bit of a suggestion playlist for books or audio or podcasts that you listen to. Based on the things that you're saving or reading, it will make a little suggestion for you, so it really helps you explore more and find things that you may not have necessarily found. So for myself, I have so many books on here, especially in folk magic, Celtic and Irish folkcraft, green witchcraft. I'm diving a little bit into water magic lately, and there's a lot of like folklore, like mermaids that I'm reading up on, and the Greek mythology of the pantheons that I work with. So you can see here my collection of books has grown quite a lot from the few that I have on my shelf here to something a lot larger that I would not necessarily have been able to afford if I had the physical book. So it's basically like a little membership monthly, or you can pay a year. It's just like $14.99 a month, and then you can have as many books as you desire. And I think that's something that I like to budget into my craft, and it's a good way to nurture my learning. So if you have not yet, definitely check that one out. It's an excellent resource. So I even have my book of correspondences here on my phone, so I'm able to kind of quickly access it while I'm on the go and be able to craft a spell if I have an idea or I want to look up a resource. Or help a friend with some type of advice or correspondence or something like that. So it's just very convenient. That way I don't have to haul around my big books, especially if I'm at work and I have an idea, I'm on my break and I want to craft something for myself. No one will be the wiser. And it's a great way to keep your craft a little bit more on the down low. So if you're a closeted witch, you're able to, as long as no one has access to your phone and you have password protections on it, it's a great way to kind of have books and resources without anyone being able to access your personal device, and no one will be the wiser. The next app that I have is Discord. Now, Discord is something that I don't think a lot of people would think of as a witchy app. However, it has communities on there, and you can create your own communities. And I have actually created my own Discord that my Patreons who pledge to any tier would be able to access. And it's just a little community. We're able to have a space where you are in a safe environment, being able to meet other witches and pagans and magical occult practitioners, and be able to bounce ideas off of each other. And I'm already a part of like 3 different Discords. I have one for witchy content creators. I follow Ivy the Occultist, and I follow Avius Lynn's account. And it's just a really great place to meet different practitioners and bounce ideas off, and I've already had so much support in those communities. So if you haven't yet, definitely look into finding some already crafted witchcraft communities or pagan communities and join those, or definitely think about maybe even starting your own if you're a witchy content creator or something, and see if you can craft your own community. The next app I wanted to talk about is called Picture This. Now, it is a membership. It's either like $3.30 a month, or now none of these apps are sponsored, but you can actually get around this. So it is a subscription. You can either get a family plan or a single plan for like 12 months for $40. However, if you just hit exit on the top right, you can actually access a lot of this stuff, and this is for plants. So if you're into herbs, this app is really good. If you're just getting into herbalism maybe, or learning to garden, growing your own plants for your magical craft, these are really great to like help you understand your watering schedules and what's going on with your plant, if it has rusting or if it has some type of disease, while you're still learning. And it teaches you kind of how to care for your plant. And if you subscribe to the entire subscription, it'll actually give you notified reminders of when to water your plants and when to fertilize them and all of that. Now, you don't necessarily need this, but this was really helpful for me when I was first starting, and I still use it. I just don't subscribe to it fully yet, but if I'm wondering what a plant is, I can kind of take a couple photos of it, and it will tell me what plant that is, what species it is, and I can kind of just dive into it a little further. The next one is very similar to this last one. However, it's for rocks, and it's called Rock Identifier. Now, I wouldn't rely on this for the hardness zones of crystals and rocks. However, this will tell you the types of crystals they are, and then you will want to like research them further and see if they are safe to submerge in water or salt or oil. But this is a great way for you to identify things that you may have forgotten. I know for myself, I forget a lot of what my crystals are if I have not used them quite a lot, and or if they're a new crystal, or if they're similar to something that I have in my collection, I blank on them. So it's a great way. You can just take a photo of the crystal when you buy it and label it and download the photo, and you can just have this little album of your crystals, and you'll be able to know which one is which. And it's a great way to, especially when you have a larger crystal collection, be able to identify your crystals. And it'll have a whole bunch of different correspondences and suggestions and some folklore on it, just like this other app did with the plants. My next app is called Notion. Now, Notion is not really traditionally an app for witchcraft or spirituality. It is an organization app. Now, this app is amazing, and I love doing things in notebooks. You can see I have many different types of notebooks, and I have more upstairs. However, I like to use the digital version for organizing my witchy content I have. So I'd like to use this app for organizing my witchy content and my collaborations and my ideas and being able to script out my videos and outline them, or my podcasts. And it keeps everything very organized. I tried doing everything on my calendar app at first, and it actually never saved anything. I actually never use my calendar app anymore because it just never saves any of the events that I create. So I discovered the Notion app when I was deep diving into organization YouTube, because I'm a bit of a freak like that. And oh, you snorty. Yeah, you snorty boy. And I actually downloaded a free template, and I was able to customize it going forward from there, and it was very aesthetic and organized and has everything that I could want on my phone. And I've actually seen a fellow content creator, Steph from Witch Wednesdays. She is a podcast host and witchy YouTuber, and she uses it as a grimoire as well. And she actually has a download, I think it's on her Patreon, if I'm not wrong. It's either on her Patreon or on her website, I'm not sure. And you can purchase her template, which is amazing. And you can have all your herbs, your crystals, your spell work, everything on your phone or your desktop. And this is another great way if you have like digital protections. No one's gonna know that you have a grimoire on your phone or on your computer because they can't access it. So it's a great way to have that with you. Plus it's a mobile thing. So for me, I'm thinking I'm going to start also using it as a grimoire. So I'm going to make a sub tab and make it for both my content creation and for my more mobile grimoire. And that way I can still craft spells and not have it in a bunch of notes on my phone or scattered through notebooks. And I'll be able to transfer it into my good copy spell book when I get home, once it's cemented and I've tried it out. So it's just versatility, I think, is really important. Next step I use is actually Patreon. So I actually have a Patreon where you can be part of a more exclusive group of people who can interact with each other, and when you pledge to my Patreon, you automatically gain access to my personal Discord server, where I'm starting to build a little community of fellow magical practitioners, occultists, and pagans and witches. And there you'll get many different bonuses. I'll make an entire video and link it down below once I fully launch the details, but you'll have monthly downloads, grimoire pages, my personal artwork, and you'll get possibly tarot readings once or twice a month for the collective. And I'm hoping to start a witchy book club, and if I start getting a large enough group there where we can gather and get to know each other and they all want to participate, then we can do like a monthly witchy book club or pagan pathwork book club. I think that will be really fun. And eventually I'd like to be able to work up to having monthly rituals, which will be so much fun. That's been like a huge dream of mine, to be able to lead people in meditation and ritual. I'm actually certified in a meditation instruction, so it's part of my dream to be able to help guide people through ritual and help them find their way to their personal path. So I definitely suggest checking out Patreon. not just for my account, but also for others. There are a lot of magical practitioners on there that give different behind the scenes content, one of which being magical crafting, which I love so very much, and so many. So I'll link the accounts that I follow or have followed in the past or want to follow again in the future down in the description box below, so you can check them out. And yeah, it is nice too because you can join for a few months, and then if you're financially not able to continue, you can pause it or cancel and then come back again when you're more able to afford being able to support people that you enjoy following. Next one is called Deluxe Moon. Now there's many different apps out there that are like moon tracker apps. This one's really great because it'll give you the planetary hours automatically calculated for you. It is a subscription based, but you don't have to subscribe to everything, and you can actually choose which extensions you want to add to your app. So if there's certain ones that you don't want to pay for, you don't have to. You can just pick the ones that you'd like. So for example, they have like the planetary hour extensions. They have twilights, which is great for photographers and astronomers, moon tables. They have moon phase calculators and moon aspects, for example. What's great with this is that it has the zodiac information, it has tips and tricks on different times of the month, what's good to do certain rituals, or different types of things in your life. Like there's one where like it's better not to cut your hair on a certain day, I read, which is interesting. You can actually take notes in this app too. It has your calendar, altitude calculator, and you can like change the aesthetic on it to dark sky or your brightness. You can share different clips from it as well, and it gives you like the rise and set of the moon and the sun, and gives you like equinoxes, supermoons, the nodes of the moon, eclipses, and so much more. So I really enjoy this app, and it's versatile. You don't have to subscribe to the whole thing, or if you like to, I think that's really good. And the next one is something no one thinks about using, but we all have on our phones, and it is the compass. Now this is really good if you're using it in ritual and you would like to set up an altar or have a ritual, a little bit more of a high magic moment, and start your ritual in one direction and then end it in another. Or if you want to set up your altar in a direction, say of north, you'll be able to find it within your space of your home. And I just really enjoy it there. I started using that when I was still practicing Wiccan. I started using it when I was still a Wiccan, and it was great to be able to call in the quarters and know which direction I was actually standing in. And now I use it more for altar setups and kind of like feng shui and astrological energy flows in that way, and knowing the directions of my home. And the last app that I like to use is called Flow. Now this one's really great for meditation. So it has different tones and sounds that will play for a certain duration that you set. And I use this during my meditations when I don't want to do a guided meditation, because I'm, for one, a person who, if they get into the flow, I will stay in a meditative state for hours without being intentional about it. And one, that is not very productive, and two, it I mean, I would love to stay in that energy flow, but I also would like to do other spiritual things and also experience life a little bit more instead of being stuck in this mental flow, downloading messages all the time. So it helps me come out of my meditative states a little more gently and not feel so jarred, because we don't want that. When we're feeling all zenned out and blissful, We don't want to be immediately jarred. I find if I'm really jarred out of my meditation, I get really cranky, I get very sensitive, and I almost get really vibratory all over my body. So I really enjoyed this one because you can do a start time and end time, and you can even have interruptions throughout the session. So it'll do a chime to mark how far you're into it. So it's really great for structured meditations as well, where you're doing a deepening state. So this one's good for when I'm doing a script in my mind and I'm trying to go deep into my subconscious or into shadow work or my inner child or something, and I want to get into more of a meditative state. Gizmo, it's okay, honey. It's okay. Sparking at the neighbors. So as it chimes, you'll be able to deepen into another state. So I really enjoy that, and I've actually used that tone in creating my own meditations for myself that I use in my personal practice. So those are the witchy apps that I really love. And then there's one more I forgot. And it's called Witchology Magazine. They have their own app. And I enjoyed this one because you can subscribe or purchase your own digital copy of the magazine. And that way you don't have magazines piling up. However, eventually I would like to do the physical magazine because it would be the only magazine I'm subscribed to. However, this one's really great because if you find one that you really want to look into, you can buy that one magazine instead of having an entire subscription, and you can kind of bounce around. I'm not sure if this one is also on Scribd, I haven't checked, but this one comes out, I think it's seasonally, so they have a couple launches throughout the year. It's not like a monthly thing. And yeah, so those are the magical witchy apps that I enjoy using in my magical practice. I would love if you commented down below and let me know the apps that you enjoy using and why. I didn't add any tarot apps in here. Just personally, I don't enjoy them. I like bringing my cards with me. I bring my full-size decks with me everywhere. I don't even have a travel size. But I know there are several different ones out there for tarot. But yeah, let me know which apps you enjoy. Comment them down below. And if you've made it this far, leave a witchy emoji down below. Or comment your favorite witchy app. And I would love to collab with you guys and talk all things magical witchy apps down in the comments. And make sure, if you've not yet, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out. I do post several times a week. I post a weekly podcast called Witch's Ritual, and you can find that on all listening services, as well as I do post a lot of times a video version onto my YouTube channel. And if it's not a video, it will be an audio version. And then I also post a weekly video on tips and tricks on witchcraft, maybe spells I've crafted, magical oils, different traditions, paganism, occultism, and exploring the occult and the magical in my practice and my personal experience. And a lot of times I will have a guest on my podcast as well, so you can get to know different magical practitioners as well. So make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification so you don't miss out. And make sure you like and share this video with other magical beings that you love and know well, so we can build this community in a strong way. I'm really focused on building a strong and tight-knit community right now. It's something that is a huge dream of mine, and I actually did a spell on that, and that'll be coming out later in the week. And it was a witchy community spell to bring unity to each other and help us find each other. So make sure you stay tuned so you don't miss out on that as well. And I'll see you all in the next video. the different witchy apps that I love to use in my witchcraft practice.